What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Drew Deeks channel. I'm really excited about this video today. We are going to get to talk about my favorite Montreal Canadian of all time. Yes, absolutely. Andrei Markov, folks. It has been a long time coming. I've actually really wanted to do this video for quite a while now, but I've actually put all the pieces together. I don't know what to expect for the career video. This is just my favorite Hab of all time. I don't know if I'm going to do many more of these, but that being said, I want to talk about Andrei Markov's career. I want to talk about how it ended, and I want to talk about whether or not his jersey, his number 79, should be retired at the Bell Center or not. All right, so let's talk about his career. Let's do this. So first of all, thank you, Andre. Yes, this was a guy that just meant so much to me as a hockey player. Helped me become the kind of hockey player I ended up becoming, more specifically on the ball hockey rink. But anyway, let's talk about some stuff here with Andre. So a two-time NHL All-Star, something that was pretty cool to see in the 2008-9 season when the Canadiens hosted the NHL All-Star game, and there was 4 or 5 of the Habs on that NHL All-Star team, including Andrei Markov. All right, so 572 points, tied for second all-time with the Montreal Canadiens. I wish he actually had sole ownership of this, but he didn't quite get there. Now, this stat may bother some Hab fans the most because he is the all-time leader, Markov is, among Canadiens defensemen for games played all-time with the Montreal Canadiens. 990 games, 10 shy of that 1,000 mark. It still bugs me to this day. Probably some of you guys too. But still an amazing stat nonetheless. He is still the all-time leader for games played amongst the Montreal Canadiens. Now, some people say that Markov didn't have that much of a personality. He didn't speak a ton of English, didn't always speak a lot in his media scrums, but here he is with Alexei Emelin having a great time, and here in another video with Alex Galchenyuk, I believe it was. But this guy had personality, man. And we just didn't always see it that much. But let's move on to some really cool stats. Andrei Markov's first season, I got to just scroll up a little bit here. So his first ever NHL game was October the 6th in the year 2000 versus the New Jersey Devils. His first ever NHL goal was scored on October 19th in the year 2000 versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Patrice Brisebois was in on the assist. This is a little clip from that actually right here, which is pretty cool that, Brisebois was part of that. Just, with him being from the 93 Cup team and having another run with the Canadiens and then getting to play with Markov too. So Andrei Markov, mixing it up here in a moment. I'm going to show, with Sean Thornton of the Boston Bruins. I'm going to show you guys also some fun memories shortly with me and Markov. A really cool coincidence that actually happened with Andrei Markov and myself. Not in person, but it's a pretty cool story. But let's continue on with the career stuff, guys. So let's go right up here to... let's see where we are. Sorry, just let me get to my spot here. Okay, so Markov had a patented forehand-backhand shootout move, which we did see a couple times, more than a couple times throughout his career. 119 goals Markov had, third all-time amongst Canadiens defensemen. He had some really nice chemistry early on in his career with Sheldon Surrey. You guys remember Sheldon, and those two were really good together as a pairing. Really fun. Markov and Galchenyuk had some great chemistry on the power play specifically, which we kind of miss a little bit. That was back when Galchenyuk was certainly doing a lot better with the Habs. Just give me 1 second here. And then, of course, we are going to go talk about the career of Andrei Markov. Now, I'm trying to be careful with showing HockeyDB because don't want to get dinged for any copyright, but I'm going to do a little screen share with you guys. Let's take a look at some of Markov's career numbers, which is going to be fun to do. So let's do that right now. All right, so Andrei Markov, here he is, folks. So we know that he shoots left, of course. He was born on December 20th, 1978 in Voskressensk. I'm going to say that wrong. Voskressensk, Russia. I'm going to say that. I just know it's wrong. Anyway, Markov's currently 43 years old. He was 6 foot, still 6 foot, I'm sure, 200 pounds. Drafted by the Montreal Canadiens in round number 6, 162nd overall in the 1998 NHL entry draft. Played all 16 seasons with the Montreal Canadiens in the NHL. We mentioned his career totals already: 119 goals, 453 assists for those 572 points in 990 games with the Montreal Canadiens. In 89 playoff games, Markov had 5 goals, 27 assists for 32 points in those 89 playoff games with the Montreal Canadiens. All right, so let's get out of the screen share for a second. And let's talk more about Andrei Markov's career, specifically the numbers from some specific seasons, actually, that are really interesting to me. So the first season after the 2005 NHL lockout, Markov had 67 games played, 10 goals, 36 assists, and 46 points in those 67 games. So pretty good season for Andrei there. And I should mention actually that Andrei's first NHL season, I meant to mention this earlier, in 2000-2001, 63 games played and 6 goals, 17 assists, good for 6 goals, 17 assists in those 63 games, and 18 penalty minutes and a -6 in his first NHL season. Now you fast forward again to where we just were. So Markov had 2 injuries that really plagued his NHL career in 2009, 2010, and then in 2010, 2011. So in the 2009-10 season, he only had 45 games played. In 2010, 2011, only 7 games played. I remember going to see the Canadiens in November of 2010 and being so disappointed that Markov wasn't going to be playing. And then again, he was injured in the 2011-2012 season, only 13 games played. So you got to think he would have easily surpassed that 1,000th game mark if he didn't have these injuries also. So it wasn't just the fact that him and Marc Bergevin couldn't work out another contract at the end of his career in Montreal, which I wish he would have. I genuinely wish that things didn't get personal between Markov and Bergevin. Markov didn't have an agent at that time. But consider all the injuries that he had, and he would have easily surpassed and set the mark even and the record even higher for most games played by a Montreal Canadiens defenseman. But that just didn't happen because of his injuries. All right. So in 2012 and 2013, Andrei Markov played 21 games in the KHL during the 12-13 lockout with Chekhov Vityaz, 1 goal, 5 assists. After the lockout, Markov had a really good season along with his defense partner, PK Subban. So in 2012-2013, 48 games played, 10 goals, 20 assists, good for 30 points Markov had in those 48 games with the Montreal Canadiens. And that was the same season that PK Subban, of course, won the Norris Trophy with the Habs. So Markov had a career-high 5-point game against the Buffalo Sabres in 2015. And yes, folks, I was there. So that was a lot of fun. And I want to show you guys a clip here. I want to show you guys a clip of the warm-up, actually, from that night where Andrei Markov had the 5-point game, 1 goal, 4 assists against the Buffalo Sabres, which I was so privileged to be at. I think that was I'm almost positive that's the most points he's ever had in a single game with the Montreal Canadiens. So let me just show you this clip, guys. I really want to show you this from the warm-up, so I'm going to get this all fired up for you guys. And this was really fun because I got to see you get to see a little run by of Dale Weiss as well. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for Dale Weiss running by the screen in this warm-up. It's a really fun clip. It's only about 30 seconds. So, all right, guys, here it is. Enjoy. Now, the nice thing about that is I actually own the footage, so I don't have to worry about that for YouTube's sake. But now, next, guys, let's go right into this next clip. This is probably my favorite goal I've ever seen Andrei Markov score. I don't know why. It's against the Chicago Blackhawks. It's an OT winner. My sister was at this game. She actually ended up meeting Jeff Molson after the game, which I am going to show you this picture here. I do believe I have it. Yes, I do. It's somewhere in here. Come on, where's Jeff Molson and my sister Tracy? I know I uploaded it. It's got to be here. Okay, I can't find it, so never mind. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this clip of Andrei Markov and my favorite goal I've ever seen him score. He actually had both goals in this game. The Habs only had 2 goals. They beat Chicago 2-1 in January of 2014. And here's the goal, guys. Take a look. Here it is. The memories, man. I'm telling you, that was a blast. Really miss Andrei Markov, man. I got to tell you, I really, really do. So let's get into this discussion. Should the Montreal Canadiens retire Markov's number 79 at the Bell Center? This is debatable, and I understand why. I think for me, I'm too biased because I just like the player so much. I mean, I don't know if I showed you guys. I do have my I do have my Markov jersey on today, of course, for this video, but it's hard to say. Based on the numbers he put up, I think you have to consider retiring his number and the fact, of course, he has the most games played all time for a Montreal Canadiens defenseman. I think that's going to be a very tough record to break. Even with his injuries, he could have had 1,100 games played or more. But I don't know. I want to know what you guys think on this one. For me, if I have to pick yes or no, it's so hard because most of the jerseys retired in the Bell Center are guys who have won Stanley Cups. And we know that Andrei Markov did not win a Stanley Cup. We know that. So how do you decipher this? And I think if you go by the numbers, specifically as a defenseman, oh man, I'm going to sound so biased here, but I think you have to consider it. I don't even know that I have an answer right now, but I think you have to absolutely consider it. So I don't know. I don't know the final answer on this one, but I think it should be considered absolutely 100%. All right. So fun memories of Andrei Markov. I certainly have some memories here. This is another couple pictures here from games. This is the same game I just showed you the warm-up video of, but you got Markov on the right here and PK Subban on the left. Rene Bourque at the bottom. This is just a nice couple of pictures here. I got a picture of Dale Weiss, my buddy here, and Andrei Markov in this. I wanted to see if I get them together. Markov pointing over to PK Subban in the introduction to the Habs season. This is the 14-15 or 15-16 season. I can't remember exactly, but we all know the bond that Markov and PK had. It was just a blast, and these two guys were really fun to watch. So creative offensively, and that's part of the reason why I became the defenseman and the player that I did, is because of the creativity and the offensive defenseman that Andrei Markov was. So I just really developed my playing style based on watching Andrei Markov. And so another fun memory here. This is probably one of the coolest memories that I've ever had with Andrei Markov. And I don't have the clip of the goal to show you, but there was a night where I was on the ball hockey rink and the exact same play happened to myself and Andrei Markov. I'm not kidding you. I'm not exaggerating. So there was an offensive draw that was won to me. I wrist shotted it in. It went straight in the net. And on the same night, Andrei Markov, it was a road game, the same exact play. I'm not making this up. I wish I was. But there was a face-off draw one to Andrei Markov. He shot the puck, a wrister, on the same side of the net even. And it was the exact same goal that we both scored on the same night. It was just a pure coincidence. I wish I had the clip to show you, but that actually genuinely happened. I swear on my life. So that's one of the coolest memories for me personally with Andrei Markov, is that we scored the exact same kind of goal on the exact same night without any planned. It was just a pure coincidence. So Andrei Markov, guys, once again, two-time NHL All-Star, 572 points, tied second all-time amongst Canadiens defensemen, 990 games played, the all-time leader among Canadiens defensemen. Yes, thank you, Andrei, because this guy was a special player, and they haven't had the chance to honor him yet at the Bell Center. So even if they don't retire Andrei's number 79, I do feel like they need, and I think the time is now, to have a ceremony for Andrei to honor his career with the Montreal Canadiens. All 16 seasons played of his NHL career were with the Habs. So I think that it's time. I think that it's time to honor him. So leave a comment down below, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Andrei Markov. And you know what? Let's just play it one more time for good measure. My favorite goal from Marky. Here it is. Gotta love it. Gotta love it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode today. Andrei Markov, my favorite Montreal Canadian of all time, and now you know why. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.